Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I am going to show you how I sew my squares together, so let's get started. The first thing I am going to do is choose the layout of my fabric because there are different patterns and different colors. So once I have chosen the layout, I am going to stack my fabrics together from left to right on top of each other, and I am also going to take a picture in order to act as a guide to know which fabric is going where and if I am sewing the correct things. So now I am done stacking the fabrics together and I have 10 stacks of squares of fabrics. So I am going to take the first two squares, the first two stacks, that is 1 and that is 2. I am going to turn both of them upside down so that the last fabric is showing. I am going to place both of them upside down like so, and I am going to take the first fabric, that's the first square from the first stack, and the first square from the second stack. I am going to place them right sides touching each other and I am going to sew. So before I get to the end, I am not going to sew all the way to the end. I am going to stop sewing almost at the end, and I am going to bring the second square from the first stack and the second square from the second stack. I am going to place them right sides touching each other like I did with the first sets. And I am going to bring you guys closer. As you can see, I am not done sewing the first stack. Okay, the idea is to bring them or sew them as close to each other as possible in order to avoid any gaps. Okay, so while I am sewing while I am sewing the first stack, I am going to push the second stack in order to avoid any gap in between. So I am going to do that till I get to the end of the first set of fabrics I have to sew together. And if you're working with Ankara fabric, you have to be careful. Like me, I am working with Ankara fabric. Some of the fabrics can be confusing when it comes to identifying the first or the right or wrong side rather. So I hope you guys get the gist, right? Before you get to the end, you are going to bring the next stacks together, place them right sides touching and sew. And I am going to do that till I get to the end of the first set of fabrics that I have to sew. Now guys, I am done sewing the first set of squares that I have, and I am going to bring the third stack. Remember that I am working with 10. I am going to place it upside down like I did with the first and second, and I am going to open my second stack of squares. We are working with the second stack of squares now, and I am going to place the first square on the third stack of square, right sides touching the second stack of squares, and I am going to sew them the same way as I did to the first set. Okay, remember before you get to the end, I open up, or before I got to the end, I opened up the second stack of square, place the next one right side touching it and sew. I hope you guys understand. If there is anything you do not understand, feel free to leave me a comment and I will try as much as possible to be of help. Okay, so I hope you get the gist. Open up the second square, place the third square on the second set of square, right side touching and sew. Guys, I am going to continue like this till I get to the end. Remember that I have 10 stacks. Yours may be smaller, you may have 5, you may have 4, you may have 3, you may have more. So I am going to continue like that till I get to the end. So when I bring the 4th stack of fabrics, I am going to sew them on the 3rd stack of fabrics, right side touching, just like I am doing now. And I am going to continue till I get to the end. I hope you get the gist. Okay. Now I am done sewing all my squares together. As you can see, now I have one big chunk of fabric, and I am going to flip it to the wrong side, and I am going to press the seams open. When I am done pressing the seams open, I am going to sew the opening shut like that. So I am going to have a straight line to sew. I am going to sew straight down till I get to the end of the fabric. Now I am done pressing the seams open, as you can see, and I am back on my sewing machine. If you notice, I do not have any space in between. That is the goal. So now I am going to place my fabrics right sides touching, and I am going to sew. It is now simple. It is just a straight line you have to sew. We are basically sewing the openings, and as an amateur, I used a pin to hold the seams together so that when I sew it together, I have like a straight line. Okay, I don't know if you guys understand. It's going to make it look like all the squares are on a straight line. Okay, if you're a pro, you do not need this. I am a beginner, so I used a pin to hold it together so that it looks okay. And again, my squares are not equal. I do not have like all the squares are not exactly the same, so that is also another reason why I am using the pin. So guys, I just want to quickly show you. As you can see right there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there looks like a straight line. Like the joining, it looks straight, like a continuous line. That is the goal. That is what I am trying to achieve. Okay, that is why I used the pin. So can you see that right there? A straight continuous line. That is the goal. So I am going to keep sewing all the straight lines down till I get to the end. So I am done sewing. I have gotten to the end, and I am done sewing all the straight lines together. As you can see, we have no openings. Again, I am going to flip this fabric upside down, and I am going to press the seams open. Now when you press the seam open, there is a fabric, or there is a piece of thread. Yeah, it's a thread. There is a piece of thread in the middle that you have to take out in order to have your seams flat. Okay, so while you are pressing your seams open, you can take your seam ripper or a scissors and you can use it to cut the thread. I don't know if you guys can see the thread, but I am going to show you. Okay guys, so now I want to show you the advantage of using the pin. Okay, I am going to show you what it looks like without the pin for the stacks where I didn't use the pin. Can you see that, guys? Can you see that the lines are far away from each other? Like it doesn't look like a straight continuous line, and I was trying to avoid that. That was why I used the pin. I remember I said that my squares are not equal. Can you see that, guys? Now for the sides where I used the pin, can you see the straight and continuous line? You see that this looks more professional than the other one, right? Right. So guys, I also want to show you guys the thread where you are supposed to take the thread out. I don't know if you guys can see the black thread right there. So when you press your seams open, you want to take out the black thread or the thread that is there. And that is it. I am going to show you guys what I am going to use this big chunk of fabric to make in the next video. So guys, that is it. If you try out this DIY, do not forget to use the hashtag DIY with Juliet on Instagram, and I am going to see you in my next video. Bye.